All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really going to zero in on Blackberry,
Yeah.
their recent financial report.
Mm,
Specifically their fourth quarter and full fiscal year 2025 results.
right.
These were released just back on April 2nd of 2025.
Yeah. April 2nd.
And we're going right to the source for this one
Hmm.
with their news release.
Yep.
And really, our mission here is to kind of extract, I think, that crucial information
Mm-hmm.
to give you, the listener, a really clear and engaging understanding
For sure.
of what's happening with BlackBerry's business.
Right. Yeah.
So consider this your express route to being well informed, I guess,
Absolutely.
when it comes to BlackBerry.
Yeah. I mean, we're taking this, detailed report,
Mm-hmm.
and we're really going to try to pull out the most, significant insights,
Yeah.
for you, the listener. It's
Yeah.
about, getting those key takeaways, those
Yeah.
aha moments
Yeah.
without, getting bogged down in pages and pages of financial jargon.
Right, exactly.
Uh,
And I think right off the bat,
Exactly.
the headline is definitely upbeat.
Yes, absolutely.
BlackBerry, they didn't just meet expectations, they actually exceeded
Right.
revenue targets
Yeah.
across all three of their core divisions.
Yeah.
So you've got QNX,
Yeah. They're embedded software powerhouse.
right? Their secure communications.
Right, focused on those high security solutions.
Exactly. And then their licensing arm
Yeah, yeah,
and even their total company revenue
yeah.
topped their own projections, which were, uh, you know,
hmm
fairly optimistic.
Yeah, pretty optimistic.
It's,
And the good news doesn't stop at revenue.
right.
I mean, their profitability
Yeah.
and operating cash flow also came in higher than expected.
Yeah.
This paints a very clear picture
Mm-hmm.
of a company
Yeah.
finishing the fiscal year.
With real momentum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, CEO John J. Giamatteo,
Mm-hmm.
he himself called it a transformational fiscal year.
Right.
And,
Yep.
he emphasized that strong financial performance
Mhm.
across all their divisions and
Yeah.
highlighted the successful completion of the sale
Yeah.
of their silent cybersecurity business.
Mm-hmm.
And he made it clear that, BlackBerry is entering this new fiscal year
Yeah.
from a position of, significant financial strength.
Which ultimately, that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's really dig into the details here.
Yeah.
Starting with
hmm
overall financial performance
Right.
for that fourth quarter of fiscal year 2025.
Okay.
So what are the most important number we should be focusing on?
Okay, so for the quarter,
Yeah.
the total revenue for the company reached $141.7 million.
Okay, 141.7 million.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Their adjusted gross profit margin, and that's the percentage of revenue left after the
Right.
direct costs of producing their goods and services.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a pretty robust 74%.
74%. Okay.
The GAAP gross margin, which follows stricter accounting rules,
Yeah, a little stricter, yeah.
was just slightly lower at 73%.
Okay, so 73%.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, a healthy gross margin like that,
Yeah.
tells us that they've got good control over their production costs.
Right.
So how did that translate into their overall profitability for the quarter?
Yeah. Okay. So on the profitability side, their adjusted EBITDA,
Okay.
and that's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Yeah.
Often used to gauge, core operating performance,
Mm-hmm.
came in at $21.1 million,
21.1 million.
which exceeded their own forecasts.
Okay, exceeding their own forecasts. That's always good.
Yeah, their adjusted net income was $17.7 million.
Okay.
However, it's important to note
Like
that
this.
under GAAP,
They reported a net loss of $7.4 million.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to understand the difference there.
Yeah.
Adjusted figures often exclude things
Yeah.
like restructuring costs
Mm-hmm.
or, one-time gains,
Right.
to give a clearer view of their, ongoing business operations.
Right. Yeah.
GAAP figures are, the official numbers
Yeah.
as per accounting standards. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
And looking at it on a per share basis,
Uh-huh.
their adjusted basic income per share beat expectations at 3 cents.
3 cents. Okay.
While their basic loss per share was 1 cent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now here's a figure that I think really jumps out.
Mm.
Their operating cash flow.
Okay.
The cash generated from their, normal business operations
Yeah.
was a strong $42 million,
42 million.
which
Yeah.
significantly exceeded expectations.
All right. Yeah.
That's a remarkable $57 million improvement compared to the same quarter a year before.
That's a huge jump. I
Yeah.
mean, that substantial year-over-year jump in operating cash flow
Right.
suggests, a real improvement
Hmm.
in how efficiently they're managing their cash.
Right.
Um, and what about their overall cash reserves?
Their total cash and investments
Oh.
saw a pretty significant increase
Yeah.
of $144 million
Wow. Okay.
during the quarter,
Yeah.
bringing the total up to $410 million.
410 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this includes roughly $80 million from the initial part
Okay.
of the silent sale.
Mhm.
So as the CEO highlighted, they've
Yeah.
definitely, bolstered their financial footing.
Okay. Yeah. That provides,
Mm-hmm.
a solid overview of the
Yeah.
company's total performance
Yeah.
in Q4.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's zoom in
Okay.
on how each of their key divisions contributed.
Yeah.
Let's start with QNX, which is, arguably the core of their future growth.
I think so, yeah. So, all right, QNX, renowned for its embedded software that powers everything from car infotainment systems to industrial robots, generated $65.8 million in revenue.
Okay, 65.8 million.
That's a 6% increase compared to the previous quarter.
Okay.
And held steady year over year.
Yeah.
But crucially, it surpassed their own revenue guidance.
Okay, so exceeding their own forecasts,
Right.
always a positive indicator.
Yeah.
What about the profitability, specifically within the QNX division?
Yeah, so the gross margin for QNX was a strong 83%.
83%. Okay.
Interestingly, this was a slight decrease, both compared to the previous quarter and the same quarter last year.
Right.
However, their adjusted EBITDA for QNX, that is their operating profit for just that segment,
Okay.
beat expectations at $19.2 million.
19.2 million.
Resulting in a very healthy 29% profit margin.
29%. Okay.
Yeah.
So while the immediate profit per sale might have dipped slightly, they're still generating strong overall operating profits within the QNX business.
Right.
Now, a key metric to watch for QNX is their royalty backlog.
Right.
What can you tell us about that, and why should our listeners even care?
Yeah, that's a really important point.
Okay.
Their QNX royalty backlog actually increased to approximately $865 million.
Okay, so up to $865 million.
Yeah, that's up from about $815 million compared to the previous year. Think of this backlog as a substantial pipeline of future contracted revenue.
Okay, yeah.
It means they've already secured deals that will generate income for them down the line, indicating strong and sustained demand for their QNX technology.
Okay, so it's like a subscription service, right? With future commitments.
Yeah.
That increasing backlog provides a clear indication of, future revenue stability and growth potential for QNX.
Yeah.
Right now, let's move on to their secure communications division.
Okay.
How did they perform in the fourth quarter?
So the secure communications division focused on providing high security communications solutions. Also exceeded their revenue guidance.
Okay, so exceeding guidance again?
Yeah, bringing in $67.3 million.
67.3, okay.
However, their gross margin here was 64%.
64%.
Which was a decrease compared to the previous quarter. This was primarily due to the specific mix of products that were sold during the quarter.
Yeah, that's a good reminder that, the types of products sold can indeed impact profit margins, right?
Absolutely.
Now, secure communications often relies on recurring revenue. What can you tell us about their ARR and DBNRR? And what do those terms even signify for our listeners?
Yeah, so ARR, or annual recurring revenue, stood at $208 million.
Okay, $208 million.
Think of ARR as
Yeah.
the annualized value of all their active subscription contracts.
Right, yeah.
It's a key indicator of, the predictable recurring income.
Yeah.
This division generates each year.
Okay.
Their ARR
Yeah.
saw a 3% decrease sequentially, but a 3% increase compared to the previous year.
So while they've, gained some ground year over year in terms of, that stable subscription revenue, there was a slight dip in the most recent quarter.
Right.
Now, what about DBNRR?
So DBNRR, which stands for dollar-based net retention rate, was 93%.
93%, okay.
This metric tells us, on average, how much revenue they're retaining from their existing customer base compared to the previous year, taking into account upgrades, downgrades, and churn.
Yeah, so churn being customers that leave.
Exactly.
Okay.
So a DBNRR of 93% means that existing customers are spending, on average, 93% of what they spent in the prior year.
Right, okay.
It decreased by 2 percentage points sequentially,
Mm-hmm.
but increased by 2 percentage points year over year.
So it's kind of a mixed bag there.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want to see this number above 100%, because that would indicate that, their existing customers are expanding their spending with them.
Right.
So while they're retaining most of their existing revenue, the fact that it's, below 100% suggests they're experiencing some churn or contraction in spending among their current customers.
Yeah.
That's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Right.
What about the profitability of the Secure Communications division in Q4?
Yeah, despite that slight dip in gross margin, their adjusted EBITDA for Secure Communications also exceeded their guidance, coming in at $12.6 million.
$12.6 million.
Which translates to a 19% profit margin.
Okay, so 19%. Interesting. So even with the product mix affecting their immediate profitability per sale, they're still maintaining strong overall operating profitability in Secure Communications.
Yeah.
Now, let's look at the smallest of their three divisions.
Right.
Licensing.
Okay.
How did they perform?
So the licensing division, which generates revenue from their patent portfolio, also exceeded their revenue guidance.
All right, so they're 3 for 3 here. Yeah. Exceeding guidance.
Bringing in $8.6 million.
$8.6 million, okay.
With an adjusted EBITDA of $1.4 million.
Okay.
So while it is the smallest contributor to their overall revenue, the fact that all three divisions outperformed expectations is certainly a positive sign.
Absolutely.
Overall business health.
Yeah, it suggests a consistent level of execution across the entire company.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift our focus here to the full fiscal year 2025 as a whole.
Right.
What were some of the key highlights and takeaways for the entire year's performance?
Yeah, so for the entire fiscal year, total company revenue reached $534.9 million.
Okay, $534.9 million.
With both their adjusted and GAAP gross profit margins holding steady at a healthy 74%.
74% for the year.
Right.
Okay.
Their total company adjusted EBITDA for the year exceeded their guidance at $84.2 million.
$84.2 million.
Yeah.
All right, and how did those individual divisions we just discussed contribute to that overall full-year performance?
Okay, so QNX had a really strong year.
Okay.
Their revenue grew by 10%.
10%, right.
Compared to the previous fiscal year.
Okay.
Hitting the top end of their own guidance.
Yeah.
At $236 million.
Oh, okay.
Even more impressively, their QNX adjusted EBITDA saw a huge 76% year-over-year increase.
76% increase, so that's significant.
Reaching $59.1 million and resulting in a robust 25% profit margin for the year.
25% margin, all right.
Yeah, I think that massive jump in QNX profitability isn't just a number.
Right.
It signals, a real surge in demand and efficiency in their core embedded systems business.
Yeah, suggesting a very healthy underlying trend there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that substantial growth in QNX profitability year over year is definitely a key takeaway here.
Yeah.
It points to strong demand
Mm-hmm.
and efficient operations within that crucial segment of their business.
Mm-hmm.
What about secure communications for the full year?
Secure Communications also performed well for the full fiscal year, with revenue exceeding their guidance at $272.6 million.
272.6.
Okay, their EBITDA for the year was $52.3 million, maintaining the consistent 19% profit margin we saw in the fourth quarter.
All right, so staying consistent.
Yep.
And licensing's contribution for the entire year.
Licensing brought in $26.3 million in revenue for the full fiscal year, generating an adjusted EBITDA of $15.8 million.
It's 15.8. Okay.
Looking at the overall bottom line for the year, their adjusted net income was $12.5 million.
Okay.
While their GAAP net loss was $79 million.
79 million, all right?
Yeah. Their adjusted basic earnings per share came in at 2 cents.
2 cents, okay.
And their GAAP basic loss per share was 13 cents.
All right.
Yeah.
So looking at the full year picture, we see, a clear trend of exceeding expectations, particularly highlighted by QNX's strong revenue growth and that, that significant improvement in EBITDA.
Yeah.
Now, beyond just the raw financial numbers here, the news release also highlighted some key business developments and strategic announcements. What stood out to you?
Several things caught my attention. Yeah. Obviously, the successful completion of the sale of their Cylance business to Arctic Wolf is a big one.
Big one, yeah.
As the CEO mentioned.
You mentioned that.
This seems to have provided a significant boost to their financial resources.
Definitely a strategic move that provides them
with increased financial flexibility to invest in their core growth areas.
Right, exactly.
What else did they highlight?
There were quite a few new partnerships.
Okay.
And expanded collaborations announced.
Yeah.
Especially within the QNX ecosystem.
All right, yeah.
So they teamed up with Microsoft to make their latest QNX SDP 8.0 platform available on Microsoft Azure.
Right, so bringing QNX to the cloud.
Yeah, and I think this is significant because it brings QNX's powerful capabilities to the cloud.
Right.
And I think, potentially making it more accessible to a wider range of developers and applications.
I mean, cloud integration is becoming increasingly vital in the in the tech world.
Yeah.
So that's a smart and forward-looking move for QNX.
Yeah, absolutely.
What other collaborations did they mention?
They also expanded their existing collaboration with AMD.
Okay.
Focusing on robotic systems and other embedded devices.
All right.
And I think this this demonstrates QNX's continued relevance and expanding reach into these, high-growth technology sectors.
Yeah, for sure.
Additionally, there was a multi-year collaboration established between QNX, Vector, and TT Tech Auto to develop a pre-integrated software platform specifically for vehicles.
Okay, specifically for vehicles. So
and this really underscores the importance of these strategic partnerships within the automotive industry.
Right, absolutely.
Which remains a key market for QNX.
Yeah, the automotive sector is a major driver for advanced embedded software, and these kinds of collaborations can open up significant opportunities for QNX to become a foundational technology in next generation vehicles.
Yeah, for sure. And it wasn't solely about external partnerships.
Right.
QNX also launched their own General Embedded Development Platform, or GEDP.
GEDP.
This platform is designed to, accelerate the creation of high-performing, scalable, and secure embedded systems.
Right.
Making it easier and faster to build, innovative products using QNX technology.
So they're not just, collaborating externally; they're also innovating internally. To make their platform more attractive and efficient for developers to work on.
Exactly. They also announced a collaboration with Intel and Necobate.
Okay.
Focusing on a functional safety platform
All right.
for advanced robotics.
For robotics.
Yeah, and I think this further emphasizes QNX's strong position in, safety critical applications where reliability is paramount.
Right.
Furthermore, they partnered with Pi Square Technologies to establish software engineer training program in India.
Okay, in India. Interesting.
Yeah. And I think this initiative is key to, expanding the pool of developers skilled in working with QNX, which is, vital for their long-term growth.
Expanding that developer base is crucial for, the continued adoption and growth of any technology platform, really.
Exactly. On the secure communications front, they expanded their existing relationship with the Malaysian government.
Right, the Malaysia government.
Increasing the number of government employees utilizing their secure communication products.
Yeah, okay.
This provides a real-world example of the trust and adoption of their high-security solutions.
Yeah, for sure. Well.
And their Sika Smart subsidiary achieved a significant German BSI certification.
Okay, BSI certification.
For their Sika suite for iOS.
Right.
Further validating that high level of security their communication offerings provide, particularly for government and enterprise clients with stringent security requirements.
Right. I mean, these business highlights really paint a picture of, BlackBerry's strategic focus with a, with a clear emphasis on expanding the reach and capabilities of QNX in, key growth areas.
Right.